and almost Happy New Year to all of you. Another crazy NFL weekend with a classic Sunday night football game. Jeff Moore is going to join us next segment. We will talk all things National Football League. Grizz lose another chance at being 500. It's inexplicable because they lose again to Washington, the Wizards. A terrible team, albeit this one on the road. The Grizz, I thought, took control of this game late third quarter. They had a 19-0 run. They could have pulled away right then and there. The Wiz respond with a 25-7 run of their own and hold on to win by 4, 116-112. So the Grizzlies, this is hard to believe. If I ask you, Landon Schmidt, when do you think was the last time, just off the top of your head, the Grizzlies were a 500 team? When would that have been?
Well, Brian says he knows. I'm going to guess somewhere last season.
No. It's this year. It is October 31st. October 31st. Was that was the second, after the second game, they were 1-1, is that right? Crazy. So now they face a 6-game stretch with teams that are 500 or above. It starts with Philadelphia at FedEx Forum, at least. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, the Grizz last night shot 33% in the fourth quarter. That's why the Wizards went on that big run. The bench, which normally beats the other team's benches. They are one of the best reserve teams in the NBA. They were outscored last night, those same guys, 42-24. They were dominated on the boards, 54-43. And because of the offensive rebounding of the Wizards, a part of that rebound differential, they were outscored on second chance points, 23-12. It didn't help that KCP, who's actually been playing a little bit better, he got hurt early in the game. Cam Spencer, part of those reserves and the numbers, he had his worst game in a while. He had 0 for 5 threes and a 14-game streak where he had double figures that went by the wayside. So you didn't have him. That hurt you with your reserves. Triple J carried the way, 31-8 with I think it was 4 blocks. The guy is a machine these days, although he did not shoot well in the fourth quarter. John Moran had 21 points, 7 assists, and Santi Aldama, he's just become Mr. Consistent, another double-double, 14 and 10. But now you're 15 and 17. You had your chance to get to 500. You just can't seem to climb over that. You would still be in, I believe, 9th place as the play-in. But now you got a tough stretch in front of you. We'll see exactly what happens there. It really hurts that Edie's hurt, and so is Jock Landale. And so that's part of the reason why we saw that differential on the boards. Just some things over the weekend that I found interesting. There was a terrific article in Sports Illustrated about the Texas Tech booster who bought a football team, who bought a national championship with softball when he literally bought a pitcher for $1 million, and they won the national title. I don't know if is that worth it? I guess it is, at least for Cody Campbell. So this is an interesting guy. Cody Campbell is a second-generation guy in a family that actually went to college. His dad was the first of their family to ever go to college. He goes to Texas Tech because his family, or other members of the family, had been there, and he grew up in a town not far from Lubbock. Could have gone to Harvard, so he's a smart guy. He's a terrific offensive lineman. Gets a cup of coffee in the National Football League. I think he played for a year and a third or something of that nature. Goes back, gets in the oil business, becomes a multi-billionaire. He's the guy, if you don't remember that name, you may have seen some of the commercials. He's the guy, the proponent, the guy that's lobbying Donald Trump, the guy that has infiltrated some members of Congress with this idea that college sports in general could be a whole lot better and equitable if they actually bargained with the television networks as a unit, as a whole, instead of with conferences. Now, Greg Sankey, Petiti, that's the SEC and the Big Ten, they don't want to hear any of this. Because his idea is if you were to bargain as one entity, you would get double the rights fees to $7 billion. And it could be shared with everybody, which would save all of college athletics and the Olympic sports, because everybody is reading the writing on the wall. Who's going to suffer? It's going to be the Olympic sports. It's the sports that don't bring in revenue. They're going to be the first to go, and I'm afraid at some point, schools that are mid-level, even some schools in the American, are going to just have to sacrifice sports to keep basketball and football alive because those are the only ones that really bring in revenue. In some cases, baseball does. I think in the case of Memphis, you wouldn't get rid of soccer because both those sports have the potential to bring in revenue. I don't know if baseball does. Would baseball be paired? Would the track team have to go away eventually? I know that is not what Dr. Ed Scott would want, but if you look at it realistically, as the revenue shares go up and teams continue to pay more and more money for NIL, this is a possibility. This guy's got a decent plan. He's also got the ear of Donald Trump. So if there's to be a congressional plan, which even Sankey and Petiti all agree that there needs to be some guidelines from Congress because they can't all agree themselves, if this guy's got their ear, maybe there's some hope that all of this would change. I would hope so. But I think he's really an interesting guy. If you get a chance, read the Sports Illustrated article. All right, so I mentioned earlier on last night's Sunday Night Football Classic, and we'll talk with Jeff Moore about it. But to me, there was just so many cool things about it. It was a great game. If you like defense, you didn't like this game. If you like offense, this thing's a classic. First of all, this has never happened in a regular season game. It happened once a long time ago in the playoffs, where the two teams were tied at 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. 5 times. Crazy. Both teams scored 3 touchdowns in the first 18 minutes of the game. Both teams. So 6 touchdowns, 3 apiece in 18 minutes. You know the last time that happened, Landon Schmidt? Because it's happened once before.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
You weren't born.
That sounds about right.
I was a junior in high school.
Just a bit of a difference there.
1970, the last time that occurred in a football game.
I was -30.
That is just absolutely nuts. You know what, Brock Purdy? Remember, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last player taken in the NFL draft several years ago. The guy has now scored or been a part of 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. 5 touchdowns apiece. That's 10 in 2 games. Caleb Williams is starting to come of age. I know he missed a couple of guys wide open. So did Josh Allen. Couple of guys wide open. But, man, did he make some throws. He made 2 throws that were so on the money that were long bombs. It was beautiful. Purdy ends up with 303 yards, 3 touchdowns passing, 2 touchdowns rushing. Caleb, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Purdy had 1. But the other key to that game is Christian McCaffrey, who I think is the most fun running back to watch in the game. First off, He's not one of those guys like Derrick Henry who's going to get a medal from me later, a big medal, by the way, who runs you over, who has power and speed. This guy has speed and elusiveness. And, growing up, well before you were born, Landon, in the 60s, I used to go to Wrigley Field and watch Gale Sayers and watch people miss. He would give him a leg and take it away, would dart around you at great speed, but his moves, his elusiveness, his ability to make you whiff, it was a beautiful sight to watch. That, to me, is what it's like watching Christian McCaffrey. LaDainian Tomlinson was sort of the same way, but McCaffrey is this version of it. He's just beautiful to watch. And he ripped the Bears for 140 yards and a touchdown. Neither team can play defense. Here's the interesting aspect of all this. If the Niners win, and I think that game with Seattle is in Levi, right? If they beat Seattle this weekend, they will never have left home for the entire playoffs. They'll be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They'll have every home game there. They'll be the 3rd team in history to have a Super Bowl in their backyard. So they will have played the last 2 weeks at home plus every round of the playoffs and the championship if they keep winning. I don't know if that's ever happened. Is that right? Is that game in...
It's at the 49ers.
It's at 49ers. So they played the Bears. They're going to play Seattle. They'll play. If they win that, they're the number 1 seed. They get a bye, and they play every game at home, and the Super Bowl is there. That would be the longest home stand maybe ever in the NFL. I have to look that up. That's crazy. Boy, have they ever got destiny in their own hands. Hey, and crazy stuff in the NFL, that is for sure. We're going to get into it with Jeff Moore in just a little bit. A reminder, we do have medals as our last segment. I got some good ones to give on that one. It was interesting to me that the American Athletic Conference this weekend, do you know what their bowl record was?
They were winless, weren't they?
No, sir.
Well, before these games?
They were before this. They
that's
were
what I was referencing.
They were 0-2. They're actually, if you count the playoff game, and I don't know if that goes into the bowl record or not, but if you count,
I think it does. Well, no, because that's just a college football
that's a playoff game. They were 0-2, and we'll get into that later too in medals. They were 4-0 this weekend. So the American teams really did the job. How about that? Because remember how good they were last year? Last year they were, I think, the best team, the best league.
I think they were one of the only teams that went undefeated. They may have lost like 1 or 2 at the tail end, but... Well, I think they had the best winning percentage of any conference last year. So what happened this week... UTSA beat FIU. East Carolina beat Pitt, so there's a Power 4 win. Army romped over UConn. North Texas creamed San Diego. Well, they scored a whole bunch of points. So, if you look at that, they are now 4-2 with those 4 wins in the bowl season. So they got a pretty good chance here, I think, to... Because what you've got left are the first one is tough. It's Rice against Texas State. Rice gets in because they weren't even 500. They get in because of academic, and they agreed to play. They're 13.5-point favorites against Texas State, which is one of those teams. Nobody knows what Texas State is. I don't even know where Texas State is, but I do know this. They're going in the Pac-12, the new Pac-12. I don't think that league is going to be as good as the American in football. I have no idea what Texas State is like in basketball. I know they've been pretty good in football. 13.5-point favorites over Rice. And the Navy, because the opt-out at Cincinnati of their quarterback, Navy's 7.5-point favorites. So say they go 1-1, they end up 5-3. Which I don't know where that would put them, but it would be amongst the leaders of the conferences at this point in time. And you can't even if they don't count the playoffs in the bowl record, which I don't think they should, then the SEC has all their top teams in the playoffs. So I don't think it would be fair to really gauge them in that. Finally, the Tigers get set for conference play. They play on Wednesday against North Texas. So what is Penny working on? Well, the University of Memphis is 302. 302nd at the bottom when it comes to turnover percentage. And by the way, North Texas creates 15.5 turnovers a game. The Tigers do not value possessions, ladies and gentlemen. That was one of the mantras that John Calipari taught me early. You got to value possessions. Because if you lose a possession, you lose at least one shot. And you give the other team one. 302nd. That's not as bad as the defensive rebounding. How do they not box out? They are 326th when it comes to defensive rebounding. They're good offensive rebounders. Isn't that weird? They got a streak where they have, I think, double-digit rebounds. It's like 50 games now. It's crazy. But they can't box out. They got to shore that up for certain. And the other things he mentioned, and this is true, they got to get better in ball movement. And they did that against Alabama State. I think, what, they have 22 assists or something of that nature. They did move the ball well there. I hope that is a view of things to come, and they got to be better on transition defense. They've given up a lot of fast break points. Oh, and by the way, North Texas is good at that. So we shall see, because it's very obvious. The Tigers have to win the conference tournament to go to the NCAA. And then, you know what? They'll probably be a 12 seed. It'll be a reverse of what they were last year, which is the exact same position. If you're a 5 or a 12 and you win the first game, it's the same thing. So let's hope that that is the case. And it's a little easier for the top teams to go. If you are first or second in the American, which makes the regular season important, you are automatically set to go in Birmingham in the semifinals. You only have to win 2 games in 2 days. This isn't a march of 4 games in 4 days or anything of that nature. So it behooves the Tigers to get off to a good start against North Texas on Wednesday. All right, we're going to talk all things NFL with the man. That is Jeff Moore. In just a minute, I'll let you know this portion of the show is brought to you by Southern Security, your home team credit union, voted the best credit union in Memphis for the last 6 years. They're not messing around. They know what they're doing. They got this new, beautiful, and I'm harping on this new, beautiful bank building in Collierville. Go visit it just to see the building. And by the way, it's a community building. If you've got a group that would like to maybe have a meeting there that is going to benefit the entire community, in particular Collierville, please go talk to Dawn Grader, because she would love to let you use her facility. It is gorgeous. And if you're looking to get the lowest possible rate on your mortgage, it's Southern Security. They are not for profit. They can offer the best rates, flexible terms, no PNMI. And talk about service, you can't beat it. You can refinance your current mortgage so easily by either going to southernsecurity.org or calling and talking to a human being at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender, federally insured by NCUA. Go to the best. Go to Southern Security, your home team credit union. I sit in the Family Leisure studio. I think we still got it going through this weekend. The hot tub sale, there's probably some Christmas specials too. But if you get a hot tub for under $2,500 and you mention us, you get a free gift. I know those free gifts are very valuable. Special financing is available and in-stock patio furniture. They're moving in the spring stuff now. If it's in the warehouse, if it's on the premises, 50% off. You can't beat it. Go see them. Go see Billy. Go see Lindsay. Make sure you tell them you sent us. You get a gift at Family Leisure. We take the break. Jeff Moore is going to join us on a wacky weekend in the NFL. He comes your way in just a minute.
It's Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Remember the song How Many More Times? That's right, the title of a song that fits in right with what I always tell people. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Before you put your house on the market, I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers to not only find out what they think of your home and its pricing, but more important, what they will do for you. And make sure that I am one of them. There are keys to my highly successful strategic marketing program that involve preparing your house for the market and being able to present it before any objections take place. I've done this for a long time, and my professional team has one goal in mind: to get you to the closing table making as much money as possible. But first, remember what people often say: when you want the job done, call Shell Done at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Remember, how many more times? That's Shell Done at MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546, and tell me the name of the band that sang that song.
Hi, fellas, it's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and you cannot wait much longer. It's time for action, and you've got to make some decisions now. What are you going to get her? What's going to make her happy? Where are you going to get it? Well, let's make it simple for you. Come see us at Russell Brothers and look at some of the most beautiful jewelry you can find. Look at diamond rings. Look at stacking bracelets or stacking rings. Look for magnificent gold and gemstone earrings. Diamonds, sapphires, rubies, emeralds, and so much more. Let us show you our almost endless options. I promise we can put a smile on her face. For over 40 years at the same location, we've been helping Memphis men make those important decisions. Come let us help you figure it out. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, where service, quality, value, and integrity are our values. Come see us at 4646 Poplar at Perkins. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers.
This is it. Your last chance to upgrade your vehicle for less. Shop our biggest year-end savings ever at Landers Ford in Collierville, the #1 Ford dealer in Greater Memphis. That's right. To finish the year strong, we're rolling out last chance savings on a huge selection, just in time for the holidays. The price you see is the price you pay. No hidden addendums. That's the Landers Ford difference. New 2025 Ford F-150, Explorer, Escape, Mach-E, Transit, and Lightning. 0% APR available. 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. Want to save even more? Get $1,000 Ford bonus cash, plus we're paying top dollar for your trade. Get started online now at LandersFordMemphis.com. Don't miss your last chance of the year to upgrade for less. Give us a call to schedule your test drive today. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 total new vehicle retail sales report, Memphis Market with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $15.15 per thousand finance, regardless of down payment. Interest accrues from inception. Price, tax, title, and $6.95 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 1/5/26.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Hey, maybe some man will take things over. Hey, let's him loose.
We welcome you back in. Time to talk NFL with former LA Ram and Tennessee Volunteer Jeff Moore joining us now with a crazy weekend. Unexpected upsets and a classic, I think, Sunday Night Football. The Bears, the Niners, not much defense, but something, and I mentioned this earlier, we've never seen before. The teams had 3 touchdowns apiece in 18 minutes, in the first 18 minutes of the game. That's never happened since 70. This has never happened in a regular season game either, where it's happened once before, and I'm not sure when, in postseason. But the teams were tied at 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. I mean, what a game. Back and forth. No team was willing to give up. No team could play defense either.
So much you take away from that game. I'm so impressed with the Bears. To think about what this team was a year ago, 2 years ago, and to see them playing with that kind of poise and fight, which certainly is the result of their head coach kind of changing the culture. But I was just so impressed with Caleb Williams with the kind of poise where there were several plays where on third down they had to have, fourth down they had to have it, and he was delivering. Unfortunately, that last play, they didn't get a good play call, didn't get a good throw, a lot of good pressure from the 49ers. And again, you mentioned it, both teams question marks when it comes to defense, and you're talking playoff football. You got to be able to play better, and neither one of these defenses was able to do much last night, but just a classic game. Now, I think the thing that the 49ers have kind of flown under the radar because Brock Purdy was hurt the first part of the season, and he is playing incredible. I mean, that offense just looks like a well-oiled machine, and they've had a lot of injuries on defense, but this offense is outstanding, and they're peaking at the right time, and for them to have missed as many games as they did with Brock Purdy being out and then have an opportunity to play and win and be the number one seed, it's just an incredible coaching job, I think, that the 49ers have pulled off.
You mentioned that offense. I think, like their punter, who punted twice last night, I know he didn't punt the week before. I think he'd only punted like once in the whole month of December until that game. I mean, that is incredible. And this is a tough question, but was that just great offense, or was part of that bad defense? I'm really not sure. I think both those offenses are pretty good. I'm just not sure how bad those defenses are, and I do think they're pretty poor. I think San Francisco, that's their biggest flaw.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because the Bears will turn you over like they did on the first play of the game.
Yeah, I think the Bears defense definitely more opportunistic. Still young, still learning how to play. The 49ers just have a lot of injuries on their defense, and so they're missing guys. And both of those are going to be challenges for these teams as they go into the playoffs. They're going to have to score a lot of points because their defense is not going to be stopping many people.
The AFC North is now very intriguing. It's unbelievable to me, and I will give a rust to Pittsburgh later. In a game they could have won to win the division, playing the lowly Cleveland Browns. They lose that game while Derrick Henry, we'll get into him in a second, goes crazy. And they beat Green Bay. Of course, Green Bay is not the same Green Bay without Micah Parsons and Jordan Love. That's being honest. But so now Sunday is a showdown.
It is.
I don't know if they set that schedule yet. I'll double check here in a second. But Pittsburgh at home against Baltimore, the winner's in the playoffs. The loser is done.
It's history, yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers had that right in his hands to win that game against a bad team, and they couldn't get it done.
That's what's been puzzling about the Steelers all season. But, this past weekend, they go in and they play Detroit, hold their offense to a ridiculous number in the second half. For the game, less than 20 yards. And they rush for over 250 yards, and they come back against Cleveland and just lay an egg the way they did with so much riding on them winning that game. And certainly it's a division opponent, but you just don't expect that they would play that poorly under those conditions. They got 2 interceptions from the Cleveland Browns quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and just had an opportunity to win the game and couldn't pull it off. They were horrible. I mean, and so you just don't know what to say about the Steelers. Their defense is stout. I mean, they come to play every Sunday. They've been really holding this team together most of the season, but they've got an opportunity if they can get it together this weekend against Baltimore, who's kind of been erratic. Although Derrick Henry, hopefully they got the message. They didn't play Derrick Henry the week before the last 12 minutes of the game. Nobody understands that. But they went into this game knowing they had to give it to number 22, and he was outstanding. Yeah.
He came through. We'll get to that in a second. So Next week, the Sunday night game now, they've just decided it's going to be Baltimore and Pittsburgh because the winner is in, loser is out, a lot on that one. And the other big game is San Francisco against Seattle because the winner is the number one seed.
Yeah.
And if San Francisco wins it, as I mentioned, they would stay at home for the rest of the way. They would have home field advantage if they kept winning because the Super Bowl is at Levi Stadium.
That's crazy.
Where their home is. That's the Saturday night game. And the Seahawks are 1.5-point favorites. By the way, Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite. Those are really two unbelievable games. Both Saturday night and Sunday night, the ratings on those things will be out the roof. You mentioned Derrick Henry. He's now the number 10 rusher all time.
Wow.
The number 4 touchdown runner in the history of football.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Amazing.
And his durability is pretty good, too.
He is. He shows up and he plays. And we've got an interesting situation with the NFC South, too, because unfortunately, because Tampa lost, they'll be playing Carolina, and Carolina wins that game. They win the division, which I can't remember the last time that Carolina was in a position to win a division. So that's huge. And, man, I have to continue to start to believe in Jacksonville. I mean, they won 7 games in a row. They beat some tough teams. They spanked Denver when they went to Denver and played them at home. This is a really good team that's kind of flown under the radar as well.
By the way, that Buccaneer-Panther game, that is in Tampa Saturday afternoon. It's the preview before the Seahawks-49ers game. The Buccaneers are 3-point favorites in that game. I'm almost surprised at that because the Bucs have been terrible
1-7.
the last 3-4 1-7. I mean, I don't know how you would make that, I guess, at home that they're the favorites.
They have not played well their last 8 games. They've been close. I mean, they've not gotten blown out, but they just have not been able to put together enough plays to get the W. So, I mean, Carolina's got everything to play for. I mean, they're playing with house money. I mean, who would have expected them to even be in this position going into the season? So, I mean, Tampa's a 3-point favorite. They're playing at home. Carolina beat them a few weeks ago, so they're playing with a lot of confidence. They feel like they can beat Tampa.
I wouldn't bet on the Bucs as much as I pull for my guy T.J. Reeves, their sideline reporter. So, since you mentioned Jacksonville, that's Liam Cohen, right? Last night, the New England Patriots clinched their division for the first time since 2019. More on that in a second. And Ben Johnson and the Bears with the turnaround that they've made. Vrabel, Cohn, Johnson. Who's the coach of the year? Is there anybody else you would throw in there? Maybe the Carolina coach.
He gets honorable mention, absolutely, because Carolina's been horrible for the last several years. But to me, again, the job that was done with the Bears, I mean, a team that had just been, I mean, again, the Patriots have a winning history. Jacksonville's been up and down, but, you know, they've been fairly relevant in the AFC South. But the Bears, man, in that division, I think that is definitely the coach of the year. That would get my vote anyway. I think the lift that he's had to do to change that culture has been amazing.
The Bills lose their game to Philly. Now, Philly's a good team. Philly just finds a way to win. I mean, Philly's lucky as could be. And they decide to win the game instead of go to overtime. And Josh Allen rolls out, and he's got a man wide open. The 2-point conversion is going to be good. They're going to beat Philly, and they should have beaten Philly. And he overthrows them by 5 yards. This may be the best quarterback in the National Football League, which tells you anybody can miss. But that was alarming.
Yeah. You know, I give him a lot of credit because there's no question he's playing on an injured ankle. And when you're making, there's so much in the mechanics of playing that position that you've got to be able to plant. You've got to be. And he'll tell you 9 out of 10 times he'd have made that throw. It's just unfortunate in that situation. It was just so open that he just made a bad play, and great quarterbacks do that occasionally. But I credit them for even being able to get back in the game, because they were down 13-0 going into the fourth quarter and just hadn't done anything all day long. So the one thing about the Eagles is their defense is showing up and playing well. Good. This offense, we just don't know from 1 week to the next what they're going to do.
I'm not. I don't think, did they have a completion of a pass in the second half?
They did not.
I mean, what's with Jalen?
Yards.
Is Jalen Hurts just that inconsistent a guy? Because he can be brilliant.
I think he's underutilized. I think they don't use the strength. He makes good decisions with the football when they let him throw it down the field. It seems like they just don't have any kind of rhythm. And I know it's a result of their offensive line being a shell of what they were a year ago, which is why their running game has been kind of inconsistent all year. But I think Jalen's a good quarterback. I just don't think they use him well. It'll be interesting if they use him more to run in the postseason, because that's an asset that they haven't used throughout the season as much as they're capable of.
So the playoffs started today. The Broncos get the bye. New England is the 2 seed against Buffalo. I would probably pick Buffalo in that game, but I don't really know, because you just don't know which Buffalo team's going to show up. Of the good teams, they're the least consistent.
They're least consistent, and their defense has been an Achilles heel all year. And I think with the way the Patriots are playing offensively, Drake May has been amazing. Their running attack is potent. Their defense is solid. I would like the Patriots in that game, but again, it's playoffs. Most of these young guys for the Patriots are not accustomed to playoff atmosphere and playoff football, so that's going to make it interesting.
If the playoffs started today, they don't, because the Niners and the Seahawks are going to play. The winner of that game is the 1 seed. But at the moment, the Bears are the 2 seed playing Green Bay as the 7 seed, and that would be the case if Seattle won. If the Niners win, the Bears become the 3 seed, and they would take on the Rams. In the NFC, is there a clear favorite? Green Bay is going to be the 7th seed no matter what.
Yeah.
No Micah Parsons. I'm sure Love's going to come back. Where do you put Green Bay? Is there a clear favorite in the NFC?
I give a razor's edge to Seattle because they've been consistent offensively and defensively most of the season. The big question mark with them is just how well their quarterback's going to play in the big moments. Sam has been outstanding most of the year, and this is his 2 back-to-back 13-win seasons. But that's the question mark. I mean, can he play well in the playoffs?
Here's my thing. If the Niners beat them and the Niners have home field advantage the rest of the way, including the Super Bowl, I'd have to pick the Niners as the favorite.
I could understand that pick. Their defense just concerns me, the way that they give up a lot of points, the 49ers do.
You think the Broncos are the ones in the AFC?
The Broncos are the ones because of their record, but the last good opponent they played was Jacksonville, and they were spanked for 4 quarters in that game. So we'll have to see. We'll see. They have young players that aren't accustomed to playing in the playoffs too, and that's when things get ramped up. We'll see what happens.
To be determined, as we like to say. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. Healthy New Year. When I see you, it'll be next year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Next Monday. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. Jeff Moore, brought to you by ATC Fitness. The holidays are here, as you know, and so is the New Year's resolutions. I know you want to get fitter. This is the place to do it. 18 locations, family-owned, family-operated, always the latest equipment, never long-term commitments, contracts, anything of that nature. The newest equipment, cleanliness. It's just a perfect place, and there's one near you because family-owned, located right here. They're everywhere. 18. You can't beat it. ATC Fitness. Exercise your right to look good. We're back in a minute. We got medals right here on Wolo and Friends.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. Let me ask you something. Are you seeing unsightly water spots on your ceiling, in your home, your office, or even worse, mold? Have you noticed shingles missing, pieces in your yard, or signs your roof just doesn't look right anymore? Here's the facts. What you see inside usually means there's already a bigger problem above you. At Metro Builders, we don't just guess, we inspect. Our team performs a full roof inspection right on site. We take detailed photos, document everything, and show you exactly what's happening with your roof. Whether it's a simple repair or a full replacement, don't let anyone tell you it needs to be replaced when all it needs is a repair. We offer free inspections, on-the-spot estimates, clear explanations, and yes, financing is available. Before a small issue turns into major damage, make the phone call that protects your home. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Or check us out online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We don't just build, we build world class.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/audio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/audio for 55% off.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Take me to the pilot of your soul. Take me to the pilot, take me to the
Flying through this particular show, it's brought to you in part by the commissary. You know, the Germantown commissary, the Collierville commissary, Germantown, the original, that quaint little beautiful part of downtown Germantown. And then there is the new one, the Palace, I like to call it, in Collierville, where they've got the buffet, the lunch buffet, Monday through Friday. Kind of new, but for under $16, $15.95 to be exact, you get 3 proteins. You're always going to get pork or and chicken, and then there's always another one. There's 5 sides, there's salad and a drink, and again, $15.95. Wow. Every day, Monday through Friday, right there for you, only in Collierville. By the way, this is the place where you might want to go to pick up some food for your New Year's Eve celebration. You don't want to work. Maybe on Wednesday you're working your real job. You don't want to come home and have to toil. You want everybody to like what you're going to bring to your party, or if you're having it at home, you go to the commissary. Either one. Call, you can make an order. It's really simple. And it's the best queue in town. I'm not just saying that. You guys said it. When you voted in the commercial appeal with that tournament they did week after week, you said they were the number 1 barbecue. They were the champs. Go see for yourself. Either place, Germantown or Collierville, it's the commissary. It is always special. We do a thing called Special Medals every Monday. And I got a few. I'm going to start with the National Football League. My first bronze goes to New England quarterback Drake May. Drake May, he was 19 of 21. You heard me right. He only missed 2 passes. One of them was a drop, by the way. 256 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's only the 3rd player in the history of the National Football League to complete 90% of his passes and throw 5 touchdowns without an interception in a game. Drake May, some people are pulling for him to be an MVP. San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy gets my 2nd bronze medal. He had another 5 touchdown week. He did it last week against Indy, where he threw for 5 touchdowns. This time he threw for 3. He also ran for 2. 2 consecutive weeks that Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the NFL draft a few years ago, who's the difference in San Francisco now. Remember when they struggled early? He was hurt. Man, did he look good. He looked like a maestro. There was one play, he ran around for, it seemed like 10 minutes. And then right before the line of scrimmage, let it go to an open tight end in the corner of the end zone for a critical touchdown. He was brilliant. For this guy, the last pick of the draft, to be what he is, consecutive 5 touchdown weeks, pretty amazing stuff. I got to give a silver medal, another NFL player, Arizona tight end Trey McBride. He's probably the best player in the NFL you never heard of because he's with Arizona. They're not any good, but he's good. And let me tell you what he did. Yesterday, 10 receptions for 109 against Cincinnati, 10 catches, 119 on the year. That is the single season record in the history of the National League for a tight end. That's what Trey McBride accomplished yesterday. Got to give a silver medal to Kawhi Leonard. Apparently he's starting to get healthy. You know, he's on a minutes restriction. He didn't even play the full game yesterday. He did play a couple times before that with 40. They're on a roll, though. The Clippers have won 4 in a row, are starting to look like the team everybody thought they would be with him and with Harden. Last night, he had a career high 55 in their win. Now that against Detroit, which is a pretty good team. So they're leading the East. So Leonard, against good competition, double nickels. First time in his career, he gets a silver. Then a gold medal for me goes to Derrick Henry, the Baltimore running back. Derrick Henry, 216 yards and 4 touchdowns in a must-win over the Green Bay Packers. Now they're set up, thanks to the Pittsburgh loss, to win in Pittsburgh. And they're the favorites and go make the playoffs. Derrick Henry is the reason. By the way, that was his 7th 200-yard game. That's up there in the ranks. But more importantly, he's now got 12,892 yards. That's number 10 all-time. He's now got 122 rushing touchdowns. That's 4th all-time. That's gold medal territory for me.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it can be anything else. Well, for my first bronze medal, actually all my bronze medals are going to be highlighting some of these bowl games that we've been seeing in college football, which have been rather exciting to watch.
I've got to admit, I know one of these has to have Hawaii in it.
Oh, well, we just stay tuned.
That's not coming early. That's coming late.
No. Yeah, that'll be a little bit later. My first one has to go to the winners of the Frisco Bowl in Ohio. Sia Bangura had 149 rushing yards and a touchdown, which was 6 more yards than Parker Navarro, their quarterback, had passing in Ohio's win over UNLV. I don't think anybody saw Ohio actually winning that game.
Well, that's the one thing. You're talking about exciting bowl games. I don't know if anybody's watching. I'm kind of like... I'm not sure if I'm
one thing about me, Dave, I love bowl season.
No.
Whenever there's a bowl game throughout the day, I'm watching it.
I watched your Hawaii Bowl because that was the only thing to watch on Christmas Eve that wasn't It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Story, which I love. But I don't know. I'll be curious, and we'll ask Joe Dank on Wednesday what these bowl ratings are like.
I'm curious.
Part of the thing is, ESPN owns 17 bowls. We've got 50 bowls. How many bowls we got? I'm not sure, but it's all because the ratings have been pretty good. I want to know if they still are, because I must confess, I've watched. I peeked in. I don't know that I've sat down other than that Hawaii game, watched the whole game.
Well, I guess some of it has to do with the timing.
Other than the Gasparilla Bowl, which they paid me to watch.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, in going forward with these bowl games, the game above Sports Bowl, specifically in that second quarter, that game between Northwestern and Central Michigan, started out scoreless in the first quarter, but then in the span of only a few minutes, Central Michigan had 3 turnovers that led to 3 quick scores, and before you know it, in the blink of an eye, it went 21-0, and then Northwestern from there carried on to an eventual blowout win over Central Michigan. So it's really crazy what just one quarter of these games can attribute to. In the Military Bowl, I don't think anyone really saw East Carolina beating Pitt, but when East Carolina had their QB pass for 177 yards, and 156 of those yards went to Anthony Smith, the wide receiver, for 2 TDs. That's an incredible stat line. And so that, I mean, along with just the craziness of that game as a total, has to be an attributor to, hey, this is just bowl season.
Hey,
and
East Carolina, that team wanted to play.
They did.
There was
went
no
out there and showed
opt-out there. They had their young running backs. They had the quarterback, the receiver. That's a good team.
Yeah, and they absolutely showed it. My last one that I'm going to highlight here, well, last one for now, Wasabi Fenway Bowl. And this has to be the most Army stat line of all time in their bowl win. Maybe one of the coolest names in sports of all time, God's Power Nawahi, has 171 yards rushing and 2 TDs. Anybody named God's Power has to have something awesome. He had a 70-yard breakaway run. And then Cale Helms, the quarterback, had 108 yards passing. And there was only one receiver that received all of those passes. Noah Short was the only receiver with any receptions, and he had 108 yards receiving and a touchdown.
Was there anybody at that game?
Because it was freezing cold, and I kind of wanted to go to that game.
There were people.
Tigers.
There were people in attendance. Let's just say
Okay.
that they had a crowd. I don't want to necessarily say if it was a big or a small one.
Okay.
And silver medal is my first one. I have to give it to the Texans, who started this year 1-5, has now turned around and won 10 straight games and have clinched the AFC South yet again. That win coming over interesting Charger team. I don't think people are still a lot of believers in if they're the real deal. Kind of like with the Broncos, they seem to be just winning, one-score games, but they are still winning. But the Texans, a complete turnaround in their year. I'm actually giving a silver medal to Drake May, 256 yards, 5 TDs, and Stephon Diggs with 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. I mean, they did not let up the gas at all against a really bad Jets team, but still, Drake May is playing as good as anybody else in the league right now. If I learned anything from the Titans' loss this past Sunday, it is that Tyler Shough should have been playing all year for the Saints. The Saints are now winners of their last 5 games.
Yeah.
Tyler had 333 yards and 2 TDs in that game. Chris Olave had 119 yards receiving and a touchdown. Saints now have 6 wins on the year. Tyler should have been their guy from the get-go, and I think they found their guy.
Look to see who he's beaten too.
Yeah, well, they beat, I believe it was the Panthers, who have been doing good at home, the Buccaneers, who have just fallen off completely.
Yeah.
So not exactly.
They've lost 7 of 8. So
yeah, not exactly great competition, but still to the fact these guys should have been bottom dwellers. And then my last silver medal, I'm going to give to the Sunday Night Football game. I mean, that absolutely delivered. Great battle between QBs. The CW, I'm going to call him that, Caleb Williams, 330 yards, 2 TDs. Luther Burden, 138 yards and a TD. Purdy with 303. Bounced back from the first play of the game being a pick 6 going to the Bears' direction, which was crazy. He had 2 rushing TDs, and then, like you said, Christian McCaffrey, 140 yards and a rushing TD. He's absolutely incredible.
And your gold? Quick?
Yeah, my gold. Obviously, I'm giving 1 to Derrick Henry because at 31 years old, he should not be doing what he's doing out there. And then the biggest goal, if I could manufacture just a huge one, I'm giving it to the Hawaii Bowl. Just everything that happened with that game. Best bowl game of the season, 21-point comeback. Your backup QB throws the winning touchdown to win the game.
And a good crowd. Great crowd.
Oh, great crowd. Stayed for the whole thing, and then a brawl afterwards. This is what bowl season's all about.
2 quick, Russ. Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance to win the division. They're playing lowly Cleveland. They blow it. And the American Athletic Football teams at the top, the 3 best teams, I thought, although you put maybe Navy in there too, but USF, Memphis, Tulane, all losers in postseason play.
Yeah.
The other team's 4-0.
Yeah. My one quick rust, it's going to the Memphis Grizzlies. The Wizards have 7 wins this year, and the Grizzlies have attributed to 2 of those 7 wins. That is not a good look for a team who's chasing playoffs and wins, and the Wizards are clearly not. So we need Edie back.
No doubt. Even Jock Landale.
Yeah, him. Anybody.
Medals brought to you by Landers Cadillac of Memphis. Go check out to see if they still got those grand opening specials at the beautiful newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis. They got grand opening savings on all the remaining 24 Escalades. That's $20,000 in total savings. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass. You get it at CadillacofMemphis.com. They're paying top dollar for trades, so don't miss out on all these exceptional offers, especially while they're still celebrating this beautiful new place. The best new Cadillac models always sell fast. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. Johnny Radio's right around the corner. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. Have a great day, everyone.